have an excellent guest, as we always do this morning, and to do the introductions, here is the head of our club services, Ron Lennox. Ron?
You forgot who I was.
Here's the problem. We have two Rons, and I have to, Lennox Felton. Okay.
We have three Rons, actually. Today we will be hearing about Ojala Niños' Children's Enrichment Program. Ojala Niños provides children of all ages in the Otomi indigenous rural community. I think I'll put my glasses on. They provide the indigenous rural community of San Miguel Viejo access to classes in arts and music and a bunch of variety of activities. Ojala Niños had a very unusual start. Elsemarie Norby, the program founder, moved to San Miguel Viejo in 2007. She built her new home there with the good intentions of living a quiet and peaceful life. However, the children of the community were very curious about this new expat that moved in right beside them. They would always stop by and look in the gate at her house and wonder what goes on there. She started giving them pencils and paper, and that was the start of the program that became Ojala Niños. Elsemarie has had her share of health issues over the past couple of years and decided to retire on her 80th birthday, which was, I think, a year or two ago. And so now we have a new team running Ojala Niños, and we have, first of all, Irene Fuentes, who is the new executive director. And today she will share with us the strategies and techniques they're using to educate and enrich the lives of the children of San Miguel Viejo. And also we have Norman Briere. He's the chairman of the board, and he will also join the conversation and discuss their vision for the future. Welcome.
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for letting us be here. And Norma will present Elsemarie because I guess Elsemarie is on Zoom, right?
So when it comes time for questions and answers, you can ask any of us actually about the history of Ojala Niños. Elsa knows the history intimately well, and on the future direction, either of us will be able to field those questions.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to share a little documentary video we are preparing, and tells about the history of Ojala Niños and some about the future of Ojala Niños. So let me share you.
Welcome to Ojala Niños. Ojala is originally an Arabic word that means to dream or to hope or to wish. And we're a nonprofit organization located in the community of San Miguel Viejo, which is the municipality of San Miguel Allende in Guanajuato, Mexico. We're located in San Miguel Viejo, which is actually the geographical heart of Mexico. We're about 2.5 miles away from San Miguel Allende and about 167 miles north of Mexico City. This, the Capilla de San Miguel Viejo, was built in 1542, and this was the original San Miguel. The priest, trying to find more safer ground and more water, higher ground for security, left this area and looked for water in San Miguel, what's known today as San Miguel Allende. Back then they called it San Miguel Grande. So we had San Miguel Grande, and after the War of Independence, which this whole area was center stage in, San Miguel Grande was named San Miguel Allende after a sympathetic Spanish captain. And then our little San Miguel here became San Miguel Viejo. So this structure is called a Calvario. Calvario signifies the hill that Jesus died on. But the indigenous Chichimecas would come here and worship to their ancestors before they entered the chapel and make an offering. This is the Capilla de San Miguel Viejo. It was originally built in 1542, but this facade that you see was built in 1720. And historians have discovered that this was the original color. So that's why it's painted this way. You can notice an image of Jesus above the door with the 12 apostles. And it's very ornate with the flowers, and the four petals of the flowers signify the four directions of the wind. Also, the church has little air holes for that very reason, also for the wind to circulate through. Above is the Archangel San Miguel, San Michael. Along the walls here, you can see the 13 stations, or the Way of Sorrows. And we're standing in the atrium because these chapels way back, the indigenous preferred to worship outside. They preferred to worship outside before they came inside. As of the 2020 census, there's 833 people living here in this community. 52% are women. 31% are under the age of 14. 90% of the people are literate, which is really fabulous. And my guess is that the other 10% are the eldest in the community. But this little municipality, we're a municipality of San Miguel Allende, and we were the original San Miguel. This is our preschool Sputnik, and then we have an elementary school. This is our elementary school, named after Benito Juarez, a beloved Mexican president. It only goes to 6th grade. So if the kids want to further their education, they have to go to a different municipality or into San Miguel Allende. The state of Guanajuato ranks 2nd in the number of immigrants trying to seek work in the United States. And that's something that at Ojala Niños we're trying to work on. Most of the people here are farmers. They grow corn, frijol, alfalfa. If not, many of the men do construction work. And many of the women do work as domestic helpers. This is where it all started. Our founder moved out here, Elsemarie Norby, to retire. She's a pianist and a photographer, and she moved out here to the country just to retire. But that wasn't what happened. The children came to her gate. And every day they would come and they'd listen to her play the piano, and they'd watch her as if she was the strangest thing they'd seen. And so she started giving them pencils and paper, and they would sit here in the patio and draw pictures. And first there were 2, then there were 4, then there were 8. Ojala Niños could not be more of an organic organization. It's truly a grassroots foundation. And that's how Ojala started. We offer free classes Monday through Friday to the children in the community. We're a small community of about 833 people, and we serve the children. As I said, Ojala means to wish or to dream or to hope. But as the founder of Ojala always said, hope is an illusion without opportunity. And so with the philosophy of Albert Einstein here, that's what we try and do. We try and give the kids an open, safe space to learn. We don't teach them, we give them the opportunity. Welcome.
So for more than 10 years, Ojala Niños has served to the community. As you can see, it's a very rural community. This year, start building the, ¿cómo se dice drenaje?
The drainage,
The
drainage and sewage.
the search. And many of the people there has no education. So things that we can or we want to change is give these children the inspiration to get more education and to get more things to do. And last year started the pandemic, we all know that, and we had to change things in Ojala Niños. So first, we start creating a new way to work with the help of Norman and the board of directors, creating a new organizational ways. Yeah. So I want to ask Norman to talk about these organizational changes we are making.
Okay, thanks, Amy. Not only did the pandemic force us to make some changes to the way that we were doing business, but also with Elsmarie's retirement and her desire to ensure that Ojala Niños continued to provide the services that it provided and to also bring it to the next level, we started making some changes. We started looking at ways to make changes. In retrospect, those changes are really divided up into 5 major types of changes. One of them are administrative changes. One of the things that we did was we codified all of our policies and procedures, which had been in place, which had been working, but they hadn't been written down. And that's not unusual for an organization that's truly a grassroots organization. The focus is on the mission, not on the administration. So what we did was we codified all those. And we're also having them reviewed by outside counsel to ensure that they comply with Mexican labor laws. We also looked at our labor contracts to make sure that they were in compliance with laws. We looked at all of our insurance policies. One of the things that I brought with me was a very structured approach to looking at an organization, and I applied that in this way. The second area was in some system changes. We updated our payroll system. We redesigned our website. We looked at the ways that donations were being made and to ensure that people would have a way to make IRS tax deductible donations through San Miguel Community Foundation or through Global Giving. We also made some program changes. And this was probably one of the most important and one of the most difficult changes that we made. We stepped back, especially as the pandemic started, to look at, are we providing the types of programs, the types of educational opportunities for these children that not only they want, but that they need, that's going to result in a better standard of living for themselves, for their family, for their community. And we looked at all the programs we had and all the programs that we didn't have. And we started, we developed a plan to add new programs to the quiver of opportunities that we have. You know, how many are in our toolbox, and these are going to be in our toolbox. So they may change over time, but right now we are adding some new ones. And we also decided that we were going to review these programs every 6 months. Are they doing what we want them to do for these children? We also had some cultural changes. Ojala Niños was a very, very successful program, but there were some things that the pandemic caused us to look at and decide whether we wanted to make some changes. One of them was in terms of synergy. We realized that we can't do everything alone. Ojala Niños is not out there on an island by themselves. We knew that we needed to work with other NGOs within San Miguel, and we have started to do that. We are working with Jóvenes Adelantes, Pro Música, Patronato Pro Niños, Libros para Todos, CASA, Caminos de Agua, Feed the Hungry, Amigos al Cien, San Miguel Community Foundation, and of course, the Rotary Club. We also realized that we needed to be very flexible. The pandemic forced us to do that. We came up with different ways of providing educational opportunities and educational packages for all of these children. And finally, we realized that we needed a plan. And that plan manifested itself in a 5-year strategic plan that we have just completed. And it lays out the path that we want to follow to ensure that we continue to provide the services for these children in San Miguel Viejo, but also look at other opportunities to expand our services in multiple ways. Those are the changes that we undertook. We did all of these changes in accordance with our own values. We identified what our values were as part of our strategic planning process, and those values were opportunity. We want to give opportunities for all of these children, and the best way to do that is to provide them with a better set of skills to be able to take to the outside world. We wanted a fun and safe learning place. Fun being the operative word here. If it's not fun, this isn't a requirement. The kids aren't going to come. So it has to be fun. We want to be an organization that's known for its integrity, for its transparency. Everything is open to anybody who wants to ask. This is very important for the board. It's very important for the staff, and it's very important for our donors also to know that we are completely transparent. And finally, inclusion. We don't turn anybody away. We don't turn any child away. There's no requirement to pay. Everything is provided free to them. And a lot is provided free to us thanks to the San Miguel business community. And you probably are going to talk a little bit about how much donations we receive from restaurants and things like that to provide healthy snacks for the kids.
Thank you, Norman. So right now we have to adapt to the new normal we are facing, and every Wednesday we have a massive kids activity delivery. And these kits are very important because we put materials, instructions, so kids can do the activity at home. They don't have to stay in our facilities in a crowded place or in contact with everybody else and get infected of COVID, of course. And we get the snack because every time we give to the kids a snack, and that snack are provided from business on San Miguel de Allende. We are getting a lot of help of the business community in San Miguel, even restaurants or any kind of business in San Miguel de Allende. They are helping us giving this healthy snack. And we are restarting activities, but with really small groups, no more than 10 kids in these groups, and our activities like English, like tutoring, because we know that many of these kids has a lack in education because of the pandemic. They stop going to school and start schooling at home, and many of the parents don't have the facilities or the education to help their own kids to get the knowledge. So we started the tutoring program with these kids and to help them to, ¿cómo se dice? Como reincorporarse. Reintegrate to the normal education or the traditional education, because many of them don't even read or write, and they are in primary school because the pandemic. They start this primary school in the pandemic at home with the help of a teacher, so they don't know how to write their own name. So we have this program of tutoring, we have dance, and they love it. They love dance. And we start a mural project with the kids. We rebuild a wall in the land we own, and in that wall we're going to have a wall. We have so many activities we want to do and so many opportunities to offer to the kids, but we need help. And we need, for example, just an example, we need someone to come Ojala Niños to teach computer science, because something that we did last year is ask the parents what they want from us, what they want from Ojala. And what they said is, I want my kid to learn something to help them to get a better job. Things to get a better job in our community or in our society is no English and no computer science. So it's something that we are trying to enforce. We have a volunteer to teach the English class, but we need a teacher for the computer science, for example. And of course, we need money. We are always asking for money, as many of the organizations in San Miguel de Allende, but we need the help of the people too. So we are asking, I don't know if someone read what I wrote in the past days or months. We are looking for people who come to do volunteering at Ojala Niños as a computer science teacher, or as maybe another programs teachers, and of course, money. I don't know. I guess for me, it's all.
I want to add a little bit about the wall, because the wall is very important.
Yeah.
We've heard a lot about the wall in the last 5 years, but this is a different wall.
Yes.
As was mentioned in the video, Ojala Niños was started in Elsemarie's home. What you saw was her home. There was a tract of land next door to her home, which Ojala now owns through some very, very generous donations. And Elsa now is living in town, and we have rented her house as the learning center for Ojala Niños. The tract of land is very important to us right now because it's outdoors. There's no covering on it. The problem was that we had a wall, which was a retaining wall between our land and the soccer field. So our land was at one level and the soccer field was up here. And there was a wall there. The wall was, it was not safe. It needed to be replaced. Irene, working with the San Miguel Community Foundation, received a grant of $10,000 to rebuild the wall. Now, what this wall gives us is a perfect place to put a mural. Now, the wall is long. It's
huge.
It's probably, I don't know, 300 meters long. I don't know exactly how long it is, but it took a couple months to build, and it is going to be there for a long time. It's not going to fall. And that outdoor space is where we're doing a lot of our activities. And I just, the way that this all came together, I think is very, very, is great. It's a testament to organizations within San Miguel working together. Now to the mural that Irene is talking about is one where we're working with Casa on Rancheros Pandilleros, which is Casa's
a program from Casa.
Yeah. And these are former gang members who have become muralists and rap artists, and they are going to teach our kids how to do murals, but also do the mural itself on the main part of the wall, on the big part of the wall. So it's, to me, this is the way San Miguel non-profit community should work and does work. Very, very well.
Yeah, well, something that I really like a lot from Ranchero Pandillero is that they used to work with kids and people in disadvantage, and to prevent that they get in troubles or criminal activities, teaching them art, mural, and rap music. And for me, it was like, this is so perfect. This is so perfect for us because they know how to deal with kids and with people in this special situation that they can choose art or a criminal activity. And we are in that specific age that it's very hard for them to recognize what is the best option. So that's why we choose Ranchero Pandillero, because their mission and their way to work, it really fits with us. We don't want any kid getting troubles because they don't have the opportunity to learn something better for them. So yeah, we have so many plans and so many programs and activities we want to offer to the kids. But yeah, we need help, and we are always asking for help. So that's why we are here. Want to share with us what is the history of Ojala Niños, of course, as you can see in the video, the activities we are doing in the back, in the administration part to enforce the organization, and activities we are doing to the community and to the public so they can see what we are doing now. Thanks so much.
This is Peterson.
No, computer training.
Really?
Have you been in contact with Computer Bonus Pro organization in San Miguel?
No.
You need to contact them.
Okay.
They're all computer experts.
Okay.
And they even, they refurbish computers. They get computers from Ringo. They're all in English. They put in all the Spanish software, any software you would need for the kids.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a great organization.
What is the name? Sorry.
I think it's Computer Order for
John Ward.
What's his name?
John Ward.
Yes.
I can give you the.
Yes, please.
Yeah. All that stuff. I would love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. What percentage go beyond the sixth grade?
It's a very low because they don't have the school in the community. So many of them decide to stop studying. One of the goals we have is that all of the kids that come to Ojala Niños continue their education to high school. And we start a tutoring program just this week, yesterday actually, with a professor who will give tutoring for secondary or high school, because the kids start working or just stop studying because they need to go out of the community. The percentage right now, I don't have it, but I can have it. Some, yeah.
The other thing that we're doing is we're working with Jóvenes Adelantes. So the young people who are in the program at Jóvenes Adelantes are acting as mentors for our kids so that they can see what's possible.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem, is that these children, because they live in a rural community, because they're somewhat isolated, they don't know what the possibilities are.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just opening their eyes to what is possible. And then it's up to them. There has to be that drive, that spark, that desire. Without, as Elsa said, without giving them hope without opportunity is damaging. We have to provide those opportunities.
Thanks. Is there any possibility of developing a plan to have a secondary school in the community, or have a relationship with a secondary school where children could be transported to a secondary school?
From us, we not consider us as a formal education. We are after school program. And from the municipality, we don't know. The municipality is who has to build a secondary school. What we want to try to do is to help the kids who wants to go to secundaria, to help them to know what is the best option, not just in terms of distance, in terms of programs and education they can get. And that's what we're going to maybe do the next year, maybe, to something like, ¿cómo se dice? Como, o sea, que les ayudamos a elegir y a conocer secundarias.
To help them choose and pick.
And know the opportunities they have outside San Miguel Viejo.
Ron, I'm not aware. I don't know whether you're aware of it or not. And Irene, I don't know whether you know it, but Elsemarie is on Zoom right now. She has joined our meeting, so she is there. Do you see her up there on the big screen?
Yes.
There she is, waving at us. All right. Very, very good.
Question,
Thank you.
do you have a sense of how many of the parents are educated beyond sixth grade in that community?
Parents?
I don't know exactly, but it's very low. And it's something that we can get from the last census. Yeah.
But your sense is it's mostly sixth grade.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So computer science is one of the areas that we really want to provide opportunities.
Well, that opens the whole world.
When you look at the statistics about pay in Mexico, people with a computer in the computer field, data scientists, computer scientists, programmers, coders, they are at the very top of the pay scales, above lawyers and doctors, which is very amazing to me. Was when I looked at those statistics. The other thing that we have talked about, but we haven't put into a formal plan is culinary arts. You know, how to be a chef. What would be, especially here in San Miguel, that's a very good job to have, and yet
Como orientación vocacional.
Vocational education and orientation.
Right, so
Do you have enough computers?
we have
3 laptops and we have 6 tablets.
Oh. And good Wi-Fi.
Yeah. The best we can get in that
Right.
area.
So it's
I mean, yes, total play is not out there.
No, not Telmex, not Tata Play, not Megacable. It's
INTC
There
INTC.
you go.
cable.
Yeah,
Been there.
yeah.
And for those of you who don't know where San Miguel Viejo is, it's not that far.
No,
It's across the railroad tracks. If you were going to the Leon Airport, you would go to the right, you go straight, and it's about a kilometer out from once you cross the railroad tracks.
You may not know this, but our Rotary Club did our very first water harvesting project at the elementary school.
Oh, really?
Oh.
That's Benito Juarez.
wow.
All right. Anybody else have any questions for our guests? Tom, go ahead, unmute, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask what's your annual budget, and then about what percentage of that goes to staffing?
Oh, I know it in pesos, but
Pesos is fine.
like $1.2 million pesos. Yeah, it's.
That's the presupuesto, your budget.
Y sí, pero como $1.200.000 en dólares, ¿cuánto sería?
Does anybody know the conversion of
That's
1.2?
$60,000.
Just
Like $60,000.
Yeah.
And how many staff you got?
Right now we have 9 people, counting me.
I remember my second question.
okay.
No, okay. We are a
Well,
little,
it sounds like we're positioned to, in essence, franchise this business to other communities.
yes, that's a very long-term
Yeah.
goal we have.
But you're
To
setting up,
create a program that can replicate in other communities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
So-
bad.
One of the things that we're very, that I think is very important to be able to do that is to have quantifiable results.
Yeah.
The percentage of our children who go on to secundaria, who go on to prepa, what is it now? What is it a year from now? What is it 2 years from now? That will demonstrate that not only do we intuitively know this is a good program, but we empirically know that it is a good program.
But your best source for new communities will be Vietnam.
Yeah,
Because they're in deep in the community.
in every community, just about every community.
So my
Anybody else?
second question was,
Okay.
what percentage of your $60,000 US a year goes for staff and what goes for everything else? Like 50-50, would you say, or in,
When I started working at Ojala Niños last year, it was like 80% of the payroll, and the rest it was for materials and other expenses. Right now, we are trying to get everything like according to the law. And according to the Mexican law for a nonprofit organization, the 5%, the 5% of the budget has to be for administrative, and the 90% has to be for operational. All of our teachers right now are dedicated to the operation. So even though the payroll is still a big part of the budget, is dedicated to the operation. So we are in compliance right now, according to the Mexican law, and we are trying to be there.
May I also say that the paid staff are all Mexican nationals. I think that's important.
Yeah,
Elsemarie, let's hear something from Elsemarie. We like to see your smiling face there.
No, that's all. I mean, when it started out, I wanted that to be part of what we did, and that was to have the children and their own kind of people. I realized when I got there that we were very strange to those people in 2007. There was no bus service. There was no knowledge about gringos or North Americans. And so the program has always been, we've had lots of gringos come and volunteer, all kinds of people come and volunteer, but all of our paid staff, except Betty, and she's half and half. She lived here throughout all of her teens, but everybody else is a Mexican national. And amazingly, some of those guides, we call them guides instead of teachers, were themselves not highly educated and have become educated and have become amazing guides and teachers for the children. Just amazing. And as well as, of course, role models, absolutely role models.
Yeah.
One other comment about the budget, which I think is important. The budget that Irene was talking about is the budget where money comes in, pesos or dollars, cold cash, comes into our bank account and we spend it. There's also the other type of budget, which is the value of the time of the volunteers, value of the contributions, in-kind contributions. When you take all that into account, then that changes the percentages, because most of, I don't know if a large part of our operational budget is actually in kind and volunteering of time donations. So the budget, the 1.2 million pesos doesn't really cover everything that we do.
That's only the cash.
That's only the cash.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, well, the other thing we are trying to do is to give the staff all the ¿cómo se dice? Prestaciones.
Benefits.
The benefits according to the law. And right now we are starting like a training program for the staff, so the staff can elevate their own level of education and of course the level of the service they provide to the children and the community. That's another thing that we are doing, and it's more in the administrative or organizational areas, but we are doing too.
I assume you have a good Mexican account. Our neighbor.
I'm sorry?
Alan, you know Alan?
I do know Alan. That's not our account, but he has a good.
He's our Rotary Club.
Oh, is it?
All right. Does anybody else have any further questions for Irene or the rest of the? Go ahead, Ivar. Unmute.
No, I have a question. I'm here in the room.
Ivar.
No.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. And then
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I want to ask, have you any idea about?
Thank you.
There we go.
You lost it. That's the question you already had all year.
Well, I don't know what happened to Ivar. He disappeared.
Oh.
Somebody in the room had a question. Go ahead.
I have a question. The question is, you need money. How can we give money?
You can donate through
Yeah, right. Okay.
and you can donate through San Miguel Community Foundation. You can donate through our own PayPal account.
Yeah, for the presentation.
You can donate through checks into our account.
Okay.
So we have many ways to donate.
And the different San Miguel Community Foundation and local giving are 501c3s. So if you advise your deductions, IRS, that's important. If that's not important, donating our PayPal or a check directly to or transfer to our account is the easiest thing and most beneficial for us.
Okay, Ivar, go ahead. Ask your question.
Yeah, I want to know the attitude of the parents of the children. Are they supporting the children? What do they want the children to go to secondary? And what actions do the parent area, that means transport to sanitation?
I'm not sure that came through, Ivar. We had some technical problems there.
Yes,
Hold on.
we understand what the question was. It was about the secondary school in the community. It's very low. I don't have the number right now, but it's very low. Many of the kids stop studying because they have to go out of the community and they just stop studying. And it's one of our goals to help the kids to know the opportunities they have studying the secondary and to know what's the best secondary they can go outside the community. And we are not thinking on providing like scholarships. I guess that's what he wanted to express. We are not planning to do scholarships for the kids. We are trying to help the kids to know the opportunities they have and to facilitate the decision that they can make about it.
It's interesting when you only hear pieces of the question, how your interpretation is different, because my interpretation is
Oh,
different.
okay.
I thought the question had more to do with the attitude of the parents
Oh,
to the
okay.
program, and how much, what their level of participation was in the program.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think that's it.
Participation of the kids or of the
Of the
parents.
parents.
The parents are happy sending the kids with us because they know it's a safe place in where they can learn something different and they can have fun. So the parents are okay with that, and they are happy with that, and they are thankful with us of this safe place for their kids. And they ask us to give them, their kids, something that help them to get a better job in the future. That's what they ask for us, from us.
I think it's also interesting, important to know that in many cases, these kids who are 10, 12, 14 years old, sometimes will not,
to
but the slightly older ones won't be participating because they are contributing to the income of the family.
Correct.
That's hard to combat because everyone plays a role in this family, and there are certain times of the year or seasons of the year where the kids are expected to be helping out.
Yeah.
And so we have to be flexible. That requires us to be flexible in terms of our programming.
Yes, I just remember, you make me remember, there was one time we have an activity at Ojala, and I saw one of the kids carrying a bucket, and I asked him, "Where are you going? Why you don't come to Ojala and to the activity?" And he said, "I need to go out to sell elotes, corn." So they go out to sell this corn because they need to help the family, and that's why he didn't come to the activity with us. So that's really true. When the kids get 12 or they end the primary school, they start working or helping in some way the family to get income. And it's a very hard thing to change because at the end, they need the income. And maybe they want to be with us painting a mural or dancing or learning English, but they need to go out to get that money for the family while they have the priorities.
The scholarship programs have the same problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Well,
Irene, I want to go ahead.
I just want to tell the quintessential story. A few years ago, the Writers' Conference had a writing workshop for children in the rural communities. 10 of our children signed up, and they went for the first week. And the second week, I was all prepared to do the driving. The Writers' Conference held it at the at Bellas Artes at that time, so we had to take our kids into town. So two of the girls who had really excelled in the first week and were noticed by the teachers, they didn't show up that Monday morning, and I went over to their house and I said, "What, aren't you coming?" And because they were very excited about it, and their mother came out and they said, "No, they can't go. It's their turn to watch the sheep."
Wow. That's an incredible story.
Yeah.
Wow, very good. Well, Irene, I want to thank you for joining us today and braving that wet weather in San Miguel to come in person to Hotel Real de Minas. All of us, I'm sure, have a better understanding and appreciation for the good work that you're doing. And so to recognize that, the Rotary Club of San Miguel de Allende presents to you this, to both you and Norman, for your presentation to our club today. A donation of 10 polio immunizations will be made in your honor to both of you. So that's a total of 20 that will go to the End Polio Now campaign. And we thank you for coming on down today. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Good job. Good job. All the way around. Ron Lennox, you want to tell us what's on tap next week?
Well, sure. I've got it right here. Okay, next week is on September the 21st is International Peace Day. And we have Carlos Juarez, who is the Mexico director of the Institute of Economic and Peace. And he'll be presenting the Mexico Peace Index as the title. Then on the 28th, we have Jerry Bledsoe. You may know him from the Lifelong Learning Program. And he's doing police, bandits, and corruption in modern Mexico.
All right. That's going to be a big one. All right. Excellent. Very good. Outstanding. All
An hour long.
All right. Thank you all for attending today. And just a reminder that we will once again be meeting same place, same time, both in person and via Zoom on Tuesdays at 9:30. I will not be here next week. The man in red with the white suspenders will be chairing the meeting. And I join you all. I thank you all for joining us this morning. So Fred, if you'd ring the bell, this meeting is adjourned.